Hi, I'm Justin Ford, and today I'm going to be talking about why college athletes should be getting paid. Okay, so how many of you have been to a college sporting event of any kind or have seen one on TV? It's kind of impossible to go to a restaurant without a game being on one of the TVs. We all crave entertainment, and this is one of the leading sources, aside from professional sports. So, college athletes, like professional athletes, put their bodies at risk every time that they are on the court or the field. So today I'm going to talk about why college athletes should be getting paid. I will begin by talking about the revenue that college sports brings in, the benefits that do exist, and how much the athletes should be getting paid. So how profitable is college sports? Um, According to the NCAA website, ncaa.org, the NCAA receives its revenue from two sources. The revenue is from television and marketing rights and from ticket sales. The NCAA is a multi-billion-dollar corporation and brings in over $1 billion annually through men's college basketball alone. Over $876.5 million from television and marketing rights, and $177.9 million from ticket sales. The money that is made is divided into 12 different categories. The categories are sponsorship and scholarship funds, performance funds, Division I championships, student assistance funds, student athlete services, Division I equal conference fund, academic enhancement fund, Division II allocation, membership support services, Division III allocation, Division I conference grants, educational programs, other assistance-wide expenses, and lastly, general administrative expenses. Okay, so it is important that some of the revenue is put into the athletes, such as scholarships and other educational assistance. So a lot of money is being made through the sporting events. How do the players benefit? As I've stated in the intro, the players risk their bodies every time that they are playing. Yes, just about all of them are compensated through scholarships, but is that enough considering the money that their school makes? For example, the Coliseum at USC has a capacity of 93,600 people into their stadium. In a football season, there are approximately 6 home games. This gives colleges in general the opportunity to make millions each time there is a game. And people actually doing the work, people that fans come to see play, don't make anything. So they are compensated through scholarships. Michael Sue, a writer for the Wall Street Journal off-duty section, points out that the scholarship value varies from each school. The argument that is made for why they do not want to pay the athletes is that it will create an uneven playing field. The best talent will go to the best schools where the pay is higher. The argument doesn't really make sense. It makes sense, but it doesn't really work because the best players already go to the best schools, and pay couldn't change that because that's what already happens. Okay, so other ways of compensation includes grant and aid scholarships, which are good for tuition and fees, room, board, and books, as well as small cost of attendance stipends. So what needs to happen is there being NCAA-wide rules. All programs being entitled to the same benefits, regardless of the size of the program. This would leave funds available for the athletes to at least get some type of actual pay per game. Former college athlete Sun Akbuke said, "I don't need to be in the gym 6 days a week in June to stay in shape." So this is in response to the off-season program that college athletes are subject to. That leaves them no time to make money from an actual job in the off-season. In a 2010 NCAA survey, more than 3/4 of Division I baseball players reported spending as much time or more time on athletic activities during the off-season as during the competitive season. About 70% of men's basketball players and 70% of football players reported the same. College athletes are not permitted to put in more than 20 hours per week. That's a rule. However, according to NCAA surveys, athletes put in well over 20 hours a week, averaging about 40 hours. Okay, so we've talked about the revenue and benefits. So now let's talk about how much they should be getting paid. Very popular athletes, most recently Zion Williamson, are huge draws to their sport and raise millions of dollars for their programs just because of how good they are. So based on the money athletes make for their programs, how much should they be getting paid? According to the fan-sided website, Zion Williamson, if he was an NBA athlete during that time, he would have made $5 million. The University of Duke basketball program made $36.4 million in revenue in 2014. In the NBA, 50% of the revenue goes to the players. If players were assured a minimum wage and then paid accordingly to how many wins each player produced, for a player like Zion, he would have been paid about $5.15 million based on like the wins he produced for his team and the attendance that was there. So counter argument to paying college athletes is that the revenue generating sports makes up for and fun non-revenue generating sports, including many women's sports. These programs make a ridiculous amount of money off people actually doing the work. March Madness, college basketball's biggest stage, generates about $900 million each year, with a large portion coming from broadcast deals that make them about $771 million a year. David Berry, a sports economist and professor of economics at Southern Utah University, says, the minute there is revenue being generated by the workers, then there's a reason to pay them. And if you choose not to pay them, that doesn't change their professional status. Revenue share model is not likely anytime soon, unfortunately, but that doesn't change how much profit these student athletes generate for their schools. The bottom line is that these programs make millions and the players don't make a cent. Now that we've discussed how much college athletes should be getting paid, let's summarize everything that we've gone over. The NCAA is a multi-billion-dollar corporation, but only a small portion seems to be put into the student athletes by way of scholarship and educational programs. The way that they are compensated allows them to be at the school, but without making money, and the athletes having to put so much time into their sport gives them no opportunity to set themselves up financially for the future. Certain players should be making as much as $5 million based on how their schools market them and make money off of their name. This is tremendously lopsided. The business is lopsided, and there needs to be something to protect and set up the future for college athletes. Thank you.